Buddy, do I have a motion to return from executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes, welcome everyone to everyone. Wow, what a crowd. Thank you for coming. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everyone here. Welcome to the March 17th, 2016 Board of Trustees of Anderson Township trustee meeting. So with that, I'd like to start tonight with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you please rise and join me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes. Before we get started tonight, it is our job to administer the oath of office for our fiscal officer, Mr. Ken Dietz. So if I could have him step forward, please. Raise your right hand, please. Thank you, Josh. That was pretty. Repeat after me. I, Kenneth J. Dietz,
I, Kenneth G. Dietz,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Ohio,
of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and will faithfully discharge the duties
of fiscal officer
of fiscal officer
of Anderson Township
of Anderson Township
in Hamilton County,
in Hamilton County,
State of Ohio,
State of Ohio,
during my continuance
during my continuance
in office
in office
from the term beginning
from the term beginning
on April 1st, 2016,
April 1st, 2016,
and ending on March 31st, 2020.
and then in March 1st,
31st.
31st, 2020. Thank you.
You're welcome. Congratulations. Thank you. Good job, Kenny. Now we're going to open, this is a public hearing regarding the Merritt Grove Lighting District. That Richard Shelley?
Indeed. This one has actually been on the books for a while. We started looking at this lighting district back in late of 14, believe it or not. And it took some time to get it out, get it going, get it through the process. Sometimes they run rapidly, sometimes they take a while. So what you have before you is the start of that, and then ultimately a couple of resolutions should the board decide to go that way. But I can answer any questions to that, and otherwise I'll just get out of the way and let those that wish to speak, speak.
Just remind everybody here why we do this really quickly, the process really quick, for someone that might be
Yeah, it
interested.
is the process set up for in the revised code.
Yeah.
It is a daunting one at best, and one that is slightly antiquated, but it is one that has to follow certain steps. It is a distinct legal process that has been used for many years, and it starts with a phone call to Duke, a lighting plan, identifying the district, coming up with a cost estimate, then allowing the residents to sign a petition and decide on the petition process, and then a public hearing is set, and it just goes
on and on.
There's like 3 more steps yet that have to be followed, but it's a 10 or 12 step process to get to this point right here.
Correct. If anyone has any comments regarding the Merritt Grove Lighting District, please feel free to come forward and make those comments. All right, with that I'd like to close the public hearing for the Merritt Grove Lighting District. Do I have a motion?
Anything else?
Yes, you have then item B and item C. Item B is declaring necessity.
Correct.
I move to adopt a resolution declaring necessity for artificial lighting of streets and public ways for the Merritt Grove Lighting District.
I second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
And then item C, awarding contract and confirming assessment. This allows us to produce the bills that the residents will pay to provide for their lighting.
I move to award the contract and confirm assessments for Merritt Grove Lighting District pursuant to revised code sections 515.05, 515.06, 515.07, and 515.11.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Gerth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be
Thank you, Richard. That's good, easy. I'll be back again. Presentations and recognitions, the Street Tree Committee.
Hey, John?
Yeah, you're fine. Is it?
Can't see behind me.
I guess right here.
I'm John Halpin. I'm a member of the Street Tree Committee, and we're going to try and do a real quick rendition of what we did last year on the Street Tree Committee. But while we're waiting, I'll give you a rendition. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with an inning left to play. Now, the important thing about that is that that's a community, and the community was relying on one power hitter to get the job done in that particular game. We as a Street Tree Committee are that power hitter, and we want to be successful, and we don't want to strike out like Casey at the bat. So here you have it. Our statement, our mission statement. The key about the mission statement is management practices and the quality of life. And the reason that trees are important to us, they provide a good quality of life, and we have to be responsible enough to manage this practice of installing trees in our neighborhoods well. One of the successes for our community is the Street Tree Committee, or is this designation for Tree City USA. In order to accomplish the designation, we have to meet certain requirements. Those requirements are that we have a Street Tree Committee, we have a tree ordinance, and we follow a program that has an annual budget of at least $2, and as you can see, we spent $2.93 per capita. And that we do an observation on Arbor Day with our officials. And we thank them for their participation. Last year, we planted 44 trees. Now, I know that says 43, but actually it's 44. And that's important because those are trees that we offered to our community in the areas. We're following a plan, and we'll get to that in another slide. The overview for our Arbor Day. The key point to the Arbor Day celebration is that we're able to have a History to Schools program where we offer trees to our elementary students. And last year, we gave out 600 trees to our public school students and 200 trees to our IHM, to amount to 800 trees. Now, most of those trees probably were swords, whips, and more than likely didn't make it to the ground. But our hope is that some of them did get in the ground. And those children are representing us by planting them. Also, we have the observation of the Arbor Day planting. Last year it was at Swamp White Oak. This year it'll be announced. I don't know exactly where it's going to be yet. And Arbor Day this year will be on another slide. This was where the 44 trees were planted, those circles. They, well, one's a circle, the other one's a oval. But those, what we're doing is we're following a plan, and that plan is based on this curb and pavement program the township has. And In those areas where we're putting in new streets or curbs, we offer trees to the residents in those areas. And in this particular year, we sent letters out to 450 to 500 people, and 44 people accepted trees. The key here is that trees aren't going back in the right-of-way, they're going into the people's front yards. So part of the overview of our committee is that we have established subcommittees. The subcommittees' purposes are pretty easy to tell by just what they're saying. We have Education and Public Awareness, which is the Great Trees Program, and we have the Partnership Taking Roots campaign, and in this particular case, we have a liaison member on our committee, Jim Romke. He's also a member of the Taking Roots program. And we have a planning and management program committee, and basically they work with Paul relative to the street, the sidewalk, and curb policies. And then we have a tree planting and maintenance committee, and I'm on that. And that says enough right there. Also, part of the program, or part of the benefit of being in the program, and for the benefit of our community, we have, the state provides a class, or an academy, if you will. And this academy is a 2-year program which has about 70 hours of committed time where we have to go through classes 2 times a year, and, well, 4 times a year. And at the end of that time, we graduate and become graduates of the Tree Commission Academy. And this is a picture of all of us that participated. 7 of those people are from Anderson Township and represent the township. 4 of them are employees, and 3 of them are volunteers. And I'm the guy under the D. And the other thing that's important is it gives us an opportunity to speak with other communities who are represented at these classes. And in this particular case, we had Sims Township represented, Lebanon, and Williamsburg. And there's a couple more, but I just couldn't remember who they were. So this is our planned activities for this coming year. And we have the Arbor Day, which is April 29th. And then again, we'll be doing, through the History to Schools program, we'll be offering saplings to the children. And the trustees will also plant a tree for us on May 5th. So that'll be nice. We promote Taking Roots, and again, we have Jim Romke to help us do that. We do, our committee that does street tree maintenance is working with Paul again on the maintenance plans. And then we have street tree planting, which this year we planted 17 trees on our own in the Nagle Preserve. And we're real proud of that. So that 17 plus the 44 gives us 61 trees were planted this last year. And that's an important number because we need trees in our community. We also have a recommendation list that we put together of trees that go into the area. And the important part of that is that we try to find trees that aren't going to be hurt by current diseases and blights that are going through. An example of that is the emerald ash borer, which has taken out all our ash trees, almost all of them. Let's just say that 99% of them. You see them all the time, all over the place. And our future goal is to enhance these committees, and as an example, public and township information and education through insights, so please read your insights. And again, increase tree diversity so we can combat things like the ash tree borer, or Asian ash tree borer. And it's important for us to have increased tree canopy because it helps our environment and it makes our township more attractive. And with that, these are the members that currently sit on our Street Tree Committee. And as you can see, right above Suzanne, there I am. Does anybody have any questions?
Well done,
Thank you
John.
very much. And
Thank you.
Thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank Mr. Halpin for his presentation and his volunteering on the committee. There are other street tree committee members in the back that will stand to be recognized. We also want to thank Trustee Stone as our trustee liaison, Richard Shelley and Suzanne Klingman, who are the other staff that staff this committee. And as Mr. Halpin said, we also want to give a special congratulations to our Tree Commission Academies, or their graduates. And I'll name them off. Mr. John Halpin, Jim Romke, and Tim Kloppenberg. Those are all Street Tree Committee members. And then we have township staff, Suzanne Klingman, Don Tilley, who's also president, Rob Graves, and Jamie Bender. All of them graduated this year. So just a special congratulations to them.
Congratulations.
So, as Mr. Halpin stated, there are 4 criteria to becoming a Tree City USA or Tree Township, and one of those is declaring Arbor Day each and every year. So there is a resolution before you requesting that April 28th be declared, did I get that?
29th.
29th.
Close, Paul. Let's get it right.
Be declared Arbor Day in Anderson Township.
I move to declare April 29th, 2016 as Arbor Day in Anderson Township.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, just before we start the public forum section of the meeting, because I think there might be some people here that want to speak on some topics, call it a hunch, but I'd just like to take the opportunity now, if we could, the 2 topics at hand. If I could ask, Paul, if you don't mind, don't get comfortable, if regarding the development on Nagel, if you could just run through where we're sitting on that and the process where it sits now, the status of the property, and what going forward are the steps in that process so everyone knows what's going on in regards to that parcel.
So 2 weeks ago, the township held a pre-submittal meeting with the Mayerson Company as the applicant. And this is in regards to property that is owned by the township just north of the Township Operations Center. The proposal for the pre-submittal meeting was a zone change from B single-family zoning to DD multifamily zoning. This is one of the first public meetings, which is optional, of a zone change request. The meeting that was held was just an opportunity for surrounding neighbors to hear firsthand from the applicant what is proposed, and also to voice their concerns or their support for an application. So no official zone change application has been made, but this was an opportunity to take and solicit input from the surrounding neighbors. If a zone change is applied for, there's a 3-step public hearing process. The very first meeting is through Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission, and all 3 of these are public hearings, and public input is encouraged. The first one is Hamilton County Regional Planning Commission. They are looking at the zone change. They're looking at our comprehensive plan to ensure consistency with our long-range plans. The second meeting, Hamilton County Regional Planning makes a recommendation to the Township Zoning Commission, who then in turn makes a recommendation to the Township Trustees, who have the authority to change zoning in the township. If the zoning is changed, then the final step in the process is a public meeting by our zoning commission to look at the final development plan, and the development plan is attached to the zone change. So what the trustees approved, the zoning commission is looking to ensure that there's consistency, and that's what was approved.
Okay, thank you. And then I have a feeling that some of you might be here to discuss the senior center, judging from signs. Welcome, welcome. But before we get to that, the public forum section, I think it might be helpful so you have the latest information on what the status is with the senior center, how we got to where we're at, and what we'd like to do, or what we're trying to do. So with that, if you turn your attention, I'd like Vicki Earhart to come up and just fill you in on where we're at right now, okay?
Good evening. As the board is aware, on February 12th, we were notified by the Chief Operating Officer of the Ohio Presbyterian Retirement Services, the parent company of Senior Independence, that the organization does not wish to renew its contract with Anderson Township, a contract that we have held since 2006. Senior Independence is shifting away from senior center operations. In fact, the Anderson Senior Center was the only senior center in this area of the state that they operated. They are located out of Columbus, and they are looking to refocus their energies on home health care to keep seniors in their homes as opposed to assisted living or nursing care facilities. Prior to receiving this notice from Senior Independence, I had on my calendar to start negotiating with them for renewal of our contract, which expires on August 31st. So it was the township's intent to renew that contract in some form or fashion. Our current agreement expires again on August 31st, but there is an early termination option where either party could give 30 days notice and end the contract at that time. We have informed Senior Independence that we expect them to fulfill the entire length of the agreement. The township has also invested over $350,000 in improvements to the senior center building over the last 7 years. The township does own that facility, and we have leased it to Senior Independence for $1 per year under the existing agreement. In addition to providing the facility, we also provide $115,000 per year out of our general fund to finance the recreational type activities. Federal and county dollars are also provided for senior services. However, none of those dollars come to the township. They flow through the Council on Aging for the Meals on Wheels program, medical transportation, and other related services. We have been assured that those services will continue. There may be different providers, but those services will continue. We fully recognize that in addition to all of the activities that are hosted at the center, whether it's the Bridge Club, the lovely woman that had emailed me that's 87 years old and she teaches tap dance, the quilting group, we understand the importance of all those activities, but we also know that transportation to the grocery store or the barber shop or the hair salon, as well as trips to Reds games, museums, music hall, and other locales are vitally important to our seniors. For example, I've talked to a number of people that have informed me that the Taft Museum has an exhibit, Downton Abbey exhibit opening in July running through September, and there's tremendous interest in visiting that exhibit. So we know that that's a priority. Over the last month, it's just been barely a month since we were informed, staff have been engaged in conversations with various providers. We have reached out to other senior centers in the area. I've talked to other township administrators, Green and Delhi, and others that have very successful senior centers to try to find out how they manage and operate theirs and try to pick their brain to get some ideas on what we can do. It's our goal to make a recommendation to the board quickly, so that we're not leaving our seniors in a state of uncertainty. We want to get answers. We know this is causing some distress and some angst, not only for the seniors, but I've been contacted by family members as well. And we're trying to get a decision quickly, but we also don't want to jump and make the wrong decision. We want to look at all of the options before we come back to the board. So I do not have a recommendation for the board this evening. There have been providers and different groups that have contacted me Friday, and I had conversations as late as yesterday with others. So information is still rolling in, and I don't, again, want to jump and make the wrong decision. We want to make sure we've done our homework on this one. We do have a frequently asked questions list available on our website. It was also distributed to members of the senior center at the senior center facility. We will continue to update that and try to keep all of our members informed as things progress.
So it's fair to say that this cropped up about a month ago.
It did, February 12th.
And this is not any action on our part. We didn't initiate this. We're now caught flat, trying to react to this to save the center or to continue operations there for these good people. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
As I mentioned, we received a phone call, And prior to that, I had every intent. I usually reach out to them 4 or 5 months in advance to start renegotiating an agreement. And it was a surprise to us. It was also a surprise to the staff at the Senior Center. And it was a surprise to the Council on Aging.
Yeah.
Because we were the ones that informed the Council on Aging that the Senior Center, or Senior Independence, was not going to renew its contract.
Okay.
Okay.
With that, I'll open the public forum portion of the meeting. Individuals wishing to address the board should make non-repetitive points as clearly and concisely as possible, limiting their comments to a maximum of 5 minutes. Speakers are asked to state their name and address for the record. So please, one at a time, come to the podium and address the board. Hi, Alice.
Hi, Andy. I appreciate everything you've done. I really do.
Oh, sweetie. Aw. Aw, come on.
I just want to say we need your help. We want to keep it open.
Thank you.
And thanks for everything you're doing to help us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Alice.
Since I'm up here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bonnie Collins, 1598 Mears Avenue, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45230. I live in Mount Washington. I don't know. Oh, I am kind of short. Thank you, Gregory. The main reason we need the senior centers, number one, for companionship, because who wants to be isolated at home with no way to get any place or meet anybody? As you get older, your kids leave. They leave out of the state, they leave out of the city. The ones that do live near you are very busy, as you were when you were in your 30s, 40s, and 50s with your family, your jobs, and it's very difficult to get someplace on your own. So we need it for transportation. We need it for, I'm going to say, companionship. That's essential for mental health. We need exercise, which is offered there, for a healthy body. And we need learning opportunities for a healthy brain. And I mean, we have so many opportunities there. I hate to, I have a couple minutes. We have lunches prepared there, so everybody can go and have a lunch served at a round table that holds about 6 people. So you have a chance to sit there and visit with somebody. It's not a great big long table. It has a tablecloth, centerpiece. I mean, it's very pleasant. They usually have music playing. So you have a good lunch. Exercise classes, every kind of exercise you can think of. On top of that, we get line dancing, tap dancing, yoga, Tai Chi, I've taken that. Activities, oh my gosh, there's so many activities you cannot believe. Genealogy, quilting, art, watercolor, oil painting, Bible study, book clubs, walking clubs. We have a technology group. We used to have a photo club, and we don't have that anymore, but it was wonderful. We learned a lot about using our cameras, taking great pictures. Al Peter was really into it and helped us a lot. We loved him. The frosting on the cake, though, to me, is the trips and tours. So we go to the Reds games, Aronoff Center, Playhouse in the Park, Keeneland races, casinos, Taft Museum, Amish, Hocking Hills. I mean, where would a person have a chance to do that without something like this? So can you imagine what it would be like if all of that was gone all of a sudden? You know, it would be devastating to all of us. So thank you for hearing my comments. And I have a sheet of about 275 people who signed petitions, and I will give them to Vicki Earhart if that's okay. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sir. My name is Wesley Glock. I am in Anderson Township. I've lived here for many, many years. Most of all, I want to thank the board for its past interest in providing in funds and things like that. I won't be speaking of the activities. Others will be doing that. But one thing that's come to my attention is that seniors are different today. We're very savvy, or wanting to be savvy, in learning to new technology. We're finding that in the senior center. We're also finding health and wellness, which is, as we live longer, we all are interested in becoming and enjoying our health. And finally, as we said, we're going to keep the Meals on Wheels as I understand it. But there are meals within the senior center, and many of us enjoy those meals. And I'd like to thank the board at this time for their past monies that have provided, and hope things in the future work out. We do need it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Farmer. I live at 916 8 Mile Road. My son is 41 years old right now. We moved to Anderson Township when he was 3. We liked everything we had heard. I mean, we had choices galore, but we chose Anderson. My husband lost his job with Federated Department Stores in the 80s, and we had to leave. What did we look for in Tennessee? A community that was very similar to Anderson. My honey died while we were gone, and I got back here to Anderson. So I have lived at 916 8 Mile Road, Cincinnati, Ohio, for 17 years. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I have not used the senior center, and it sounds like that was my loss. I mean, it sounds like they really have something going for it. Now, what I did, I do a lot of volunteering all over. You can check my website, CincinnatiTennisOfficials.org. I'm the webmaster for that. Okay, but what the point I'm getting to is this. I do play mahjong. Someone said check with the senior center, and they didn't offer it. But I found out that a little community called Marymount offered it. So I began to do my mahjong every Tuesday at Marymount at 1 o'clock. And I liked what I saw, and it's called the Merry Elders. I liked how Kathy Chapman and her group worked with the seniors. They offered, you should see their monthly calendar. It is unbelievable. Okay, long story short, I decided I'm going to go to the senior center and I'm going to volunteer because I saw that they did that in Marymount. I want to volunteer to help get some of the elderly to their doctor's appointments or whatever, you know, on the days that I have available. I did go there and was told I had to get a license to drive a bus, whereas Marymount, they just drive their car. I have a neighbor across the street who I help, and, you know, she comes in my car, and there's something about being able to be in the car as opposed to having to climb a bus. But whatever. The other day, I was hosting a group of ladies at my house for mahjong. Do you know what the topic was? We had Anderson Township, we had Newtown. If this senior center, which we don't use yet, I mean, we're young, but it sounds like I'm going to look into it. If this doesn't get resolved, everybody was talking about moving to Marymount. And you need to consider this. What is the attraction to Anderson Township? You're here, you offer to all ages. It's beautiful. and I have loved Anderson Township, and I hope to continue to stay here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Greg Harshfield. I live at 1148 Nordyke Road in Anderson. It's nice to see you all. For those behind me, my apologies. I just wanted to come up and say a couple of words about change. What many of you know me as the person behind around Anderson Township. What I do during the day when I don't wear the cape is I manage change for a very large financial organization in Cincinnati. And change is scary. It's scary for a lot of people, especially scary when you're comfortable. But change is important, and a lot of times change comes with great positive outcomes. So I want to encourage mostly the people behind me to embrace change, trust the process, and trust the people that are sitting up here at this board to do what's absolutely right for our township. I have seen it over and over again in the 5 years that I've been doing the website. I reach out, I try to use it sparingly, but I reach out with questions and ask some of you, about current events and things, and I've never seen another place that is so forthcoming and so willing to engage with residents on an ongoing basis. And I think we all owe you a great big thank you, and it's very much appreciated. I get emails from, I'll send an email on a Sunday night, and I won't say whom, but there are people that work tirelessly that will email me right back, and you don't get that anywhere else, even in the Cincinnati area. So I just wanted to encourage everyone to be positive, and the people at the Senior Center, if there's things you can do to be positive and help spread the positive message when new information comes out, do that. If there are things that you would like to see improved, make a note of it. There may be opportunity here to do better than what we're doing. It sounds like we're doing very well, and my experience in the events that I've attended and helped with at the Senior Center has been very positive. So that's all I want to say. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg.
I'm going over, but I want to say thank you very, very much for allowing us to be here today. And I just want to say, how many of you have been to our Senior Center? All right, I haven't been there. We're glad to hear that, right? So it's nice to know that you know what we're trying to say to you. We just want to say that, I know there's a lot of new programs going out. I know there's a lot of activities going on in our Senior Center, but the most important thing is we feel like it's our home. This is what we all look forward to. When we know there's going to be something, we get dressed up, and not just us, but the other people that don't get to come out a lot. And that's our part. That's what we do. And I've never done this before. I'm an activity director for the Senior Center in Mercy St. Teresa up on the hill. And I've been there for like 22 years, and I have retired, of course. I'm a little young to retire, but that's how it goes. I do have some nice flyers just to show you what our activity lady does. This is not 5 minutes of getting it together. This is a long time working together. And we come together and we put it together. So the word is together. And I hope that you are all part of us and be together with us and try to find a nice place for us to either stay or to keep our old place, and we'd like to do that. I have one more thing. I know all of you get the ART magazine. Well, maybe you don't because you're young, but us old people get the ART magazine, just so you know. And I just received it today, and it's like God said, look at this, dummy, so that you can say something decent. So this is what I'm going to read to you. I don't know that I can see it very well, but, that's the first thing that goes. The brain still stays there, but the eyes and the fingers get wrinkled, and, but I'm not going to bore you with that. First of all, it says, from. Aging is about decline. Today, aging is about learning. We are growing. Every day is a new day. There isn't a dull moment in any of our lives. The next thing is, aging presents only challenges. Not anymore. Aging presents creativity. That's what we do. Every day is a new day, and we look forward to it. Am I wrong? No. Let's hear it back there. older people are boring. I don't think so. Older people are contributors. We contribute to all of you. You want us to vote, we get out there, we stand in the rain, we get in the place, and we vote. That's what we're all about. We're all just as human as anybody else, maybe a little bit older, but we are wiser. And that's what we're pleading for. Give us a chance. Give us a nice place to stay. Let us keep our senior center. Please let us keep our senior. And we will do what you need us to do to get people to buy into it. Anything you want, mention it. We will do it. Thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
My name is Terry Branch. I've lived in Anderson for 30 years, 13 of them at 1322 Lefengle. Just have a question. Why can't Anderson Township run the senior center?
We usually don't answer questions at public forum, but however, because I'm with you on this, I would like to have Vicki, now, just wait. I didn't say it for that, but we said earlier is, you guys have to understand, we just got hit with this a month ago.
I
and
understand that.
we are struggling and trying
As
to
we
do the
are.
right thing and do the smart thing, and we're not, but you ask a good question, so maybe Vicki could address that. I'd like Vicki too, because she's the point person on this.
Sure. That is one of the options we're considering.
So that's the little variance to asking questions at this portion, but it's a great question. I wanted to let you ask it.
Hi, I'm Barb Heights, and I live in 7366 Woodcroft. I'm taking a trip down memory lane, and I'm thinking about my parents who went to their senior center, and that mainly was because my mother had Alzheimer's. And this was one place my father could take her, and there would be professionals there and also their peers that they were very comfortable in interacting with. And it helped me during my working years to know that my parents were busy while I was busy working, and they were in a safe, friendly place. And Anderson is very unique in that there are many different generations living within the same community. I grew up in a community that I would no longer like to live in, and I really recognize that Anderson provides this. So if you keep the senior center open, you are not only helping the elderly person, but you're helping the younger person who lives here, and you're helping them to be productive. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Long time listener, right?
Right.
First time
My name's
welcome.
Christy Crone. I live at 1035 Stratford Hill. I spoke to Dee on the phone. I would love to echo all of everyone's sentiments about the senior center. I've delivered Meals on Wheels for about 9 years. I know, it's so great. I've seen firsthand how it can impact people's lives, and most importantly, it's impacted my life. There are a lot of great people that are currently employed by senior independents who are going to lose their jobs, who are scrambling to find work. They know how to run the senior center. They know what to do. They're totally invested in our seniors. I think it could be kind of a seamless transition. That's just my idea. But anyway, thank you so much for your investment into our community. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
If anyone else wants to come up and talk.
Good evening. My name is Judy Barrick, and I was asked to come before you. I live at 7057 Patterson Road, and it was brought to our attention that some of you did not know some of the statistics at the center, so I did a little bit of digging and found that there are 436 members currently, and there are a lot who are wanting to renew, especially when they found that a lot of these people today came at last minute notice also because nothing was publicized about the meetings or the planning meetings that were held. There's also a total of 378 of those that live in the zip codes of 44, 55, and 30. There are 200 to 300 plus people in and out of the center weekly. And those are totals that I was able to get from the people who are managing right now. And this are the total of the regular meeting of weekly activities, special parties, programs, trips, and evening activities. There also are viable ways that the center have outside vendors who come in, and the center earns money from those people. Not only taxpayers who are paying, but they also double pay by paying to have classes there. For instance, I dance there on a weekly basis for activities and exercises, and all of you can join us. We have men as well as women, and our instructor is here, and she's really very good. It's a great way of exercise, and your wives will love a gentleman. And also at the center, it's not just seniors that are there. As you saw, there are also those who are not seniors. And what is a senior? A senior is not always judged by age, because not everyone looks their age, and some of us that are younger look older than some of our seniors. So it's hard to judge who a senior really is today. So the senior is a place where seniors make friends, get a nutritious noon meal that is so important to a lot of seniors. It is also a place where they go on trips without worrying about driving and parking. That's so important in today's world for seniors. And it's important because some of the, from the planning committee that are talking about other venues that might be used, for instance, down the road where some things were discussed, the younger people who drop off their seniors to a safe place at Anderson Township over at the senior center do not want to drop their children off for children who are running to a volleyball game or a basketball game to be run into. You wouldn't want your mother or father who's in a wheelchair, who is wobbly, had just had surgery, to be knocked down by my grandchildren. Trust me, I have 5 grandsons. And they would definitely run into them, or between their legs, for sure. And also, many members of the senior citizens here at our Senior Citizen Center, have families that live out of town. And the center is their second family. I thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Geraldine Myers, but all my friends call me Jerry, so please call me Jerry. I live at 541 Davis Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, 45255. Now that's really in Cherry Grove, but I lived for about 20 years in Anderson Township. My children graduated from Turpin High School, and believe me, I voted for every park levy then, and every senior levy then. And now when I'm a senior, things are going away. And I think, well, sometimes it's not fair, is it? But I want to say something that you, Vicki, said something about options. Can you tell us some of the options that you have come across now?
I'll tell you this. I mean,
yes, sir.
It's probably not best, but she has, only because it might jeopardize some of the things that they're discussing.
We want a little hope here.
No, you have hope. I mean, I want you to have hope. And I want you to come away, with the fact, I mean, there was some misinformation given out, or rumors, and we all know how rumors are.
Yes.
Who's participated in any of these rumors?
Lots of rumors.
What I want everyone to come away with here is the level of dedication that we have to keeping the senior center running and viable. And a month in government's time is not a lot of time.
I understand that.
And to get hit with this a month ago and to be where we're at is amazing how quickly our staff, and all deference to our staff, they've really got on this quick and are trying to find solutions to this.
And we all appreciate this,
So
believe me.
we didn't want it to give the perception that we heard that we're closing the senior center. Nothing can be further from the truth.
We understand that.
So we don't want to open it up for, we may have a meeting, we might have an open meeting where we discuss the options and have your input on that, because I think it's very important. This
That
tonight.
would be important, yes.
Thank you. This tonight is not that time.
Okay.
But thank you for your
But
suggestion.
I hope we're given a chance
Oh,
to
absolutely.
come to a meeting such as that.
I hope so, too.
Now, there's something also kind of coincidental about this, the property on Nagel Road, and it seems like part of the building for the senior center is right near there?
No, it has, I'll tell you that, no. They're totally, you
Cross
could be
your
as,
heart? Mhm.
you could be as skeptical as you'd like. They are two, the senior, and Vicki, you can maybe chime in here, but senior, the company,
Because this is a rumor, and I like to get it
totally complete
that
bunk.
they want the building
Bunk.
for a parking lot for
Bunk.
that residential unit.
I don't use that word often,
Okay.
but it's bunk.
If I may, it is absolutely not true, because the board discussion and the board action to authorize me to enter into a contract to potentially sell the Nagel Road property occurred last year. We did not learn about senior independence until February 12th of this year.
Okay, I understand
So let's put, so your job leaving here tonight is to spread what you've heard and dispel the rumors that you've heard, okay? Because you're hearing the truth.
And if I may add one little piece of
Sure.
information. One thing I do want to share, and keep in mind, we've been, like I said, I was on the phone today, I was on the phone over the weekend, making calls and learning about other providers and figuring out what we can do. We have worked very closely with Cincinnati Area Senior Services on part of this, with the Meals on Wheels, the congregate meals, the medical transportation, those kinds of things. There are so many other people that are coming out of the woodwork that say they can or cannot provide part of the service, but not everything. We have to do our due diligence by going back to the Council on Aging and saying, is this a qualified provider, or is it somebody who's not qualified and cannot provide that? I can tell you, and I'm making a statement my board hasn't even heard yet, so if I get fired, you can all, hire me somewhere else. But
Senior center.
we have, while we're still waiting on the Anderson Park District as one potential provider, because that was mentioned, we have virtually ruled out Beach Acres itself as a facility because the congregate meals cannot be provided at Beach Acres. So to continue those congregate meals, we cannot do it at Beach Acres. So that facility has all been ruled out.
Okay.
Now you can applaud if you like.
Now you can Also, I heard that when the senior center was built, and I'm not too sure exactly when that was.
1987.
1987, that it was specifically built as a senior center, not for anything else. That perhaps someone gave money through their estate or something to help with the building of it?
It was built as a senior center, that is correct. It is owned by Anderson Township, that is also correct. And it was originally run by Sycamore for a while, and I don't have all of the specific history. I know Alice probably knows more about this than I do. But it was run by Sycamore Senior Services, and then we contracted with LifeSphere for a number of years to run it, and then switched over to Senior Independence.
So are there other management groups out there that
That's
you
what
can
we're
look
looking at.
into?
That's what we're
So there
looking
are
at.
other management groups out there?
That's what we are looking at.
Okay, okay. I would like to say that I partake of some of their trips and bingo, and I also have taken some elderly ladies from my condominium complex who can't drive anymore to the center for various activities, and they would not have a way to go, and they wouldn't be able to get out and be around people and meet other people. And we need our senior center in Anderson Township. Anderson Township has always been a very affluent neighborhood that I know of, and I don't think it's gone downhill lately. And for Anderson Township not to have a senior center, I think would just be awful. So let's keep the center somehow. Thank you.
We're working towards.
Thank you, I hope so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh.
It's not a question.
Promise? You promise?
The people that are working there now are probably looking for other jobs. So if all of them find other jobs, what? That's a question.
You're asking me a question I can't answer. I mean, honestly, this isn't a back and forth,
This
but,
isn't something that Anderson can tell them, well, stay on until we figure something out.
I mean,
And we will pay you.
not right now. I mean, I don't think we're prepared for that, but everything's, I'll tell you this, I think right now, everything's on the table for us trying to figure out a seamless way to continue operations at the senior center. So we are hearing your concerns, and we are right there with you. That's all I can say.
We really appreciate, we understand how frustrating this must be for all of you, and we do appreciate your patience. It is, as I said, it's frustrating for staff. Steve Severs, Suzanne Parker, and I have been spending hours and hours and hours on this, which is our responsibility and our commitment to you. We just don't want to jump at the first thing without looking at all the options, because then we would be doing a disservice to you as well.
Right. Sir.
My name is Drake Marker, lived 1928 Mile Road, lived here 35 years. Came in contact with the senior center when my mom developed Alzheimer's, took her over there. Saw that they had different programs. One of my talents that I have is I'm a musician. I'm able to play a keyboard and entertain folks over there once a week, free of charge. I played there and other places in the community over there in Mount Carmel. But thing is that they offer a meal to these people at noontime. That's when I perform for them. And there's other people that do. I know at least one other lady that does the same thing, and she goes around to the other communities. However, she just does it, my understanding, once or twice a month. I'm there every week for these people. These people also need transportation to get to this meal at this time. So I want you to just consider that's what's going on here. I know you say you've been there, but unless you're there all the time to know what the hell's going on, excuse me, whatever, you just don't realize how it's all put together by these people that are running it, okay? That's all I wanted to tell you.
Thank you.
And I don't want to have to go look for another place to play, so let's keep it open, keep it open the same way it is. Claremont County's got a place up there, but I want to stay here, okay?
Thanks.
Thank you.
I won't be long. My name is Janet Kravitz, and my address is 4162 Brandon Drive, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45255. I just wanted to mention a few things. I've been going to the senior center, even though I'm kind of young, for about 10 years because I have a disability and I haven't been able to work. And for me, it's been really a lifesaver because it's hard when you can't work anymore and, it's isolating. And I just wanted to point out a few things. And I know everybody's on the same side. We're just trying to find solutions. But I just wanted to point out a few things. That the people who come to the senior center, all different levels of people. There's younger people, younger seniors, and there's some people slightly younger than being senior. There's older seniors, there's people who have all different interests. Some people are very disabled, some people are very able-bodied. A lot of people come from the complex, the SEM complex, and they walk over. And
if it was somewhere else, transportation possibly could be provided for those people who walk over. But that's complicated. People can come over from the SEM complex, and they can come for an hour, if that's all they can handle. Or they can come for 2 hours, or they can come for the whole 6 hours that it's open, if that's what, that works. If you're going in a bus, you have to go when the bus goes. You have to come back when the bus comes. If you have health problems, it can be problematic. And I was over having lunch one day. In fact, it was a day that Annie Lanzone was playing the piano. And there was this woman there, and she was partially blind. And she was just crying, saying she didn't know what she was going to do if it closed. She said, "This is my lifesaver, being able to come here, I can walk here." And so many other people have that same situation. Also, the senior center has a wonderful dance floor. I also have gone to the Claremont County Senior Center, and that's also a wonderful facility, but it's not a complete service facility, and they don't have a good dance floor, and I can't dance there because my feet hurt on their floor. So, just, pointing that out for the people who dance and whatever. The other thing I want to point out is the wealth of volunteers who come there, and it would be a shame not only to lose the valuable employees, but to lose the wealth of volunteers who come and help at the senior center. The other thing I want to say is that in this climate, we're not in Florida and we're not in California. And in the winter, it can be very isolating for people not to have a place to go. And it's important that it's close and that people can get to it, because you know what the winters are like here. I don't have to go on. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I just wanted to point that all out. And thank you very much for everything that you are doing. I know you're working very hard on the solution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I'd like to thank you for your comments tonight, really. Oh, wait. Come on up. Sorry, I didn't see you. Greg, would you pull the microphone down?
Thank you. This is kind of new to me and a little intimidating, and I was trying to revise things a bit, so I did not
Andrew intimidates everybody. It's all
repeat
right.
myself. Oh, you're blaming him, huh?
Yeah, throw me under the bus.
I'm Becky. Thank you. Becky Reinier. I've been coming there about 4 years, and I'm a little similar to Janet. I am 60 years old now, but I've been going there about 5 years. In the past, I attended dance classes, birthday parties, day trips in the van, frequently lunch, which is mostly spent at one of the round tables where I can meet with friends and not eat lunch alone at home in my apartment. And then I've gone to a lot of the holiday parties I really like. Today there was St. Patrick's Day party, and that's a lot of fun. I love holidays. And I've gone on day trips in the van they were talking about too, and that was very nice for me to be with other people and to be able to go on these outings. And one was downtown Cincinnati, where I couldn't go by myself. I also applied to live in the apartments that were just mentioned that are near the senior center, and now I'm thinking, oh wait, if it's not there, why should I live there? There's no reason for me to live in those apartments nearby, because the senior center is a wonderful place for me to go. And I was a little shocked to hear rumors about it closing, and I realized this other company has given you very little notice, but I know you're all very intelligent and capable people, and I would appreciate some reassurance that the senior center or the building itself would not be closed. And that's what a lot of us, I think, are looking for. I do not have a business background, but I know that in some situations like this, in private business, there's some kind of an opening for bids put out, is that right? For a new contractor. So I was just wondering why that isn't happening.
Well,
and I know there's a lot of details about approval from the state and the Council on Aging, because I deal with them personally too. But let's see, I'm skipping over some stuff people already said. And as you know, seniors have unique needs, which can only be met by a separate and dedicated facility. It's not just some classes that we could go over to Parks and Rec and take some class. It's about being with peers and having that home base right there at the senior center. And hot food at noon is just wonderful, and there's a beautiful piano there, and we get live music. Where else are you going to get that and not pay for it? A lot of money. And we have so many wonderful volunteers already there. So so I think that's what we're all looking for, is just some assurance that you will find a way, or you'll find another contractor, or you will make it work. And my daughter also lives here in Anderson, and all these things are part of what attracted her to this area. She would be here tonight, except she had to work extra also. And I think it's very detrimental to a community to not honor its senior citizens. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, well, come on down.
My name is Joy Buellsing, and I live on Arbor Green Drive. Something that hasn't been brought up yet. That's a moneymaker. That place is rented out. It's also a polling place, a voting place. If it were promoted more, it could be more profitable, help run the place. I know there's receptions there, there's all kinds of stuff. Yeah, whatever. You get the gist. We could make more money.
Thanks, Joy.
I like her style. You can speak anytime. With that, I will close, unless somebody runs up here, the public forum section of the meeting, and move on to trustee comments. Dee?
Well, we do hear you, so I thank you very much. Thank you for speaking. I heard a lot of passion, so I appreciate you all coming and wearing your green and showing up, and it makes an impact. So thank you very much for being here tonight.
I second that. I think it's great. I think this is our attendance record, at least since I think we've been on the board.
It is.
So,
yeah.
And it was great. It was great to hear everybody. There's no doubt this is important, and all of your efforts coming tonight means a lot to this board. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will say that it's nice to have an opportunity, I hope you feel the same way, to hear, rather than rumor and innuendo and whatnot else, what we're really doing. As I said, a month is not a lot of time when you're dealing with a government agency, in any government agency. So to have this dumped on us a month ago by this company, if there's any anger or frustration to be felt, it should be at the company specifically for, companies decide to do things all the time. But I want to reassure you that you've moved me tonight at least. I've been to the senior center. I've done a couple of veterans things there. I was at the, Marty Brenneman was there not too long ago. Some of you might have been there. It's a wonderful facility, and knowing how much it touches your lives really means a lot to me. And I want to assure you that this board will do whatever we can to try to maintain a seamless interaction or a seamless transition to some new company or new, who knows what. But we hear you and we will react to what you're saying. So thank you for coming tonight, and I appreciate you being not only respectful but the best crowd we've had here so far since my tenure's been.
Amen.
Now, now we're going to get on to the rest of our meeting, if you don't mind. So if you care to stay, please stay and move forward. If you don't, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everybody. Let's give it a minute, shall we? Josh is now overdue by 1 hour. Yeah, you can take a minute. Kenny has to pee. Bye, Alice. See you, sweetie. Bye, Dermot. See you, sweetie.
Great, thank you.
Joy that owns the building with the lounges.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Short one? I mean, the short brevity one?
Yeah.
And then make money.
Yeah.
I love her.
She owns that, and she owns the whole building.
I love her.
And her son, she owns the building where the lounge is. And her son owns God.
Oh.
Her son-in-law owns God.
Jackie was at Mercy St. Teresa when my mother was there.
Oh, my God.
And then she called me and she said, I'm looking for something to do. I said, well, let me call the senior center. So she came out of there, I guess, over the past couple months. So,
You guys in the back, if you want to come forward, that's fine with us, unless you're really comfortable back there. It's no big deal. I didn't know that we had a scout here.
That's the last thing we'll do.
Dear Jackie.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. Jill, thank you. Oh, please.
Bye, thank you.
Love the sign. All right. Now we'll get on with our regularly scheduled program. Fiscal Officer Ken Dietz.
Thank you. We have the end of February reports, the revenues reports, the appropriations, and the fund balances. Little hard to tell early in the year, but things look like they're going according to our predictions, and revenues are coming in just about what we thought they would be on the real estate taxes, which we're getting in right now. So those reports are available. The primary thing that we need to do this evening is to approve our permanent summary budget. 9 months ago, we started working on a temporary budget, not knowing some of the things that were going to happen within the next 9 months. And we put together a budget of $39,803,000. It's a little bit higher than the preliminary budget. I've outlined some of those reasons to you. A lot of that is the TIF dollars that we get in. We've upped the amount that we're going to be giving to the Forest Hill School District because every year it just keeps going up and up. Hopefully this year I won't have to ask for an additional appropriation back in July or August. But that's a good part of that money. That's about $600,000. We have the other TIF districts down by the river, Area 1 and 2, which are increasing in value, so that increases the budget. We have increases in communication cost, the communication center, the costs have gone up significantly there. We have a little bit better handle on the sheriff's numbers. So overall, from the temporary budget, the increase is $524,000. If we look at numbers going back over the years, we have a lot of pass-through dollars there. If you take the pass-through dollars out, you're somewhere around $28 million. And then if you consider that we have our debt obligation, which we've had for the last 9 years, we're really doing an operating budget somewhere around $25 million, which is right in line with what we've been doing, except for, I would say, the sheriff's budget is the one has increased, and there's no way that we can avoid that. We've had a great deal with that, with the sheriff over, going back when I first started here, we had one of the best deals going, and we still have a great deal. It's just that some of those dollars that the county cannot fund to us anymore, we're having to pay for, and we, it's, in my opinion, it's still the best deal going for us. So I would need your approval. I outlined a couple areas where we had increases, but what I just outlined was, for the most part, were the main reasons for increases. And as I would say always, we will probably, expenditures at the end of the year will be at least 5% less than what our budget is, and that will keep us in line with all our service areas. Like I said, except for the sheriff, are pretty much in line with what they've been over the years.
You mentioned a majority of that is TIF, so fair to say that TIF value goes up, that means our property values are going up, correct?
Property values in the TIF program, yes, they're going up. Well, good examples are Belterra Park and some of the things going on down there, but the 1994 TIF, that keeps increasing, by a certain percentage every year. That means more dollars for the school district, means more dollars for us. So it's a good thing.
Good. Kim.
Do I have a motion?
I move to adopt the 2016 permanent summary budget as presented by Mr. Dietz.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jen.
Thank you.
Don't have anything from Margaret. Planning and zoning, Paul?
Last month, Planning and Zoning was approached by two business owners, local business owners, who were interested in adding small-scale breweries to their businesses. And currently, in the Township zoning resolution under the retail section, which mostly covers Beachmont Avenue and all of our other retail, restaurant, commercial areas, there is a prohibition of distilleries and breweries in those zoning districts. And it doesn't make a distinction of whether it's a small scale or large scale. And we believe the intent when the zoning resolution was adopted in the late 80s, but previous to that it was the late 40s from Hamilton County, that the intention was to keep the large scale distilleries and breweries in a more industrial area to limit nuisance effects from those in the close proximity of residential areas. But as you know, it is becoming very popular for small-scale breweries and small-scale distilleries to locate in business areas. This can be as simple as a restaurant that is a microbrewery to all of the local craft beer places that are opening up. So we agreed with the two business owners, and we've been researching zoning text not only locally but nationally, and we have prepared a draft text amendment to the retail zoning district that would allow small-scale, either small batch breweries or small-scale distilleries in the retail zoning district. With a text amendment to the zoning resolution, it is a public hearing process, very similar to what was described at the beginning of the meeting. And the first step of that is for the trustees to initiate the process. The first public hearing would be at Hamilton County Regional Planning on April the 7th. It would go then to the Zoning Commission and back to the trustees for a public hearing on May the 19th, if you agree with that, that chain of meetings. So there is a resolution before you for your consideration.
I would move to adopt a resolution number 16-0317, initiating text amendment to the Anderson Township zoning resolution.
I second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all I
Thanks,
have.
Paul. Sheriff's Office, Matt. Lieutenant Guy.
Good evening. There is just one item on the agenda for our department this evening. Fittingly, on St. Patrick's Day, it is a request for a liquor license. I wish it were something named Shenanigans or Steve Seaver's Tilted Kilt or something flashy like that, but it's not.
It's addressed.
What we have is there's an application for a liquor license request. It's a new request for ATC 501 LLC, doing business as Pyology Pizzeria, located at 7578 Beachmont Avenue, and our department has no objections.
I move to adopt Resolution 160317 to not object to a new liquor license request for ATC 501 LLC DBA Pyology Pizzeria located at 7578 Beachmont Avenue.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, gosh. Whew. Hey, Richard. Public Works, Richard Shelley.
Good evening.
Hi, Richard.
Not to proliferate the rumor, but Chief Obert indicated that he had been to high school with some of the people that were here earlier. And felt a little bit like a class reunion tonight. I have two items before the board. The first one is the Robin Way Drive culvert. This one has been on the books for a while. We had 3 bidders that participated in the process. That is attached in your packet, the National Gunite Group, Municipal Contractors, and ProShot Concrete. Typically, I stand before you and recommend the lowest and most responsive bidder, and I'm doing that tonight. We had an issue with the lowest bidder, in this case, National Gunite, who had not participated in the bonding paperwork properly, and had to be disqualified for a non-responsive bid because the bonding paperwork was not filled out correctly. So what you have before you is to recommend the second contractor, which is ProShot Concrete, and you should have a motion in front of you for that.
I move to adopt a resolution that this board hereby accepts the bid of $119,000 from ProShot Concrete Incorporated, deemed to be the most responsive and responsible bidder for the Robin Way Drive culvert lining and reinforcement project in accordance with the bid plans and specifications, together with a 10% contingency, for a maximum appropriation of $130,900 in grant and road and bridge funds. Further, this board hereby authorizes and directs the Township Administrator to give timely notice of award to the contractor, and after consultation with the law director, to enter into contract with ProShot Concrete Incorporated in accordance with their bid for the Robin Way Drive culvert lining and reinforcement project.
I second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
I would remind the board that $88,000 of that contract amount is being provided to us by a grant from the Hamilton County Stormwater District. So
Okay.
Our funds will supplement the rest of that and pay that whole project off. The second item I have before the board is the opening and awarding of the bid for the curb and sidewalk program for 2016. I am pleased to have put this together. It is one of the largest programs the township has ever participated in, with almost 45,000 feet of curb, 82 handicap ramps, and 17 different streets getting new curb and sidewalk repairs, all in kind of an isolated area. It will really make a large impact in those areas. It doesn't spread out much, but for those areas it will make a major impact. We had the 3 bidders we expected to participate, And we have worked many times with the R.A. Miller Company. They are a great group and will do a good job for us. We are recommending them tonight to the board as the lowest and most responsive bidder.
I move to adopt a resolution that this board hereby accepts the bid of $1,455,077.50 from R.A. Miller Construction Company, Inc., deemed to be the most responsible bidder for the 2016 curb and sidewalk project in accordance with the bid plans and specifications, together with a 10% contingency for a maximum appropriation of $1,600,585.50 in road and bridge funds. Further, this board hereby authorizes and directs the township administrator to give timely notice of award to the contractor and, after consultation with the law director, to enter into contract with R.A. Miller Construction Company, Inc. in accordance with their bid for the 2016 curb and sidewalk project.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Why are your resolutions so much longer?
Yeah, really.
You'd have to ask our legal counsel.
I'd like to remind everybody that, although one of the bids was not the lowest, it protects the township to make sure the bonding is in full force and done correctly, or else we expose the township to unnecessary risk if the project doesn't get done.
That's exactly the answer.
Yes.
Thank you.
And is there any chance they have extra gunite they could go maybe over?
Take it to New England Club Drive.
Yeah, and fix.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that ends up working out for the New England Club.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Fire and Rescue, Mark Ober.
Thank you, Mr. Ober. Thank you.
You can't stand.
You sure? You're going to let that comment go unchallenged?
Not for long.
Must be true, then. Township Administrator Vicki Earhart.
Since Chief Ober refrained, I will point out that I am eligible for senior center membership, and he's older than I am, so thank you.
You're welcome.
The first item that I have for the board is a resolution that would authorize a lease with Cincinnati East Terminal Railway, a short line railroad company. This would lease our former Station 100 on Broadwell Road. The Township Fire Department vacated that station on January 1st when it began providing service to the Village of Newtown through a joint agreement between this board and Newtown Council. Doing so has reduced redundancy by having 2 fire stations within 2.8 miles of each other. We no longer have 2 fire engines serving the same area, or 2 ambulances, or 2 sets of firefighters. It has been a benefit to both the Village of Newtown and to Anderson Township. We are under contract with Newtown and receive an annual payment from them, as well as the fact that we are able to utilize their Station 22 on Main Street in Newtown, which is much larger and more updated than our former fire station, which we had previously planned to replace at a cost of over $4 million. Now we don't have to replace that station, and we have a golden opportunity to increase our revenue a little bit further, as Cincinnati East Terminal Railway has expressed an interest in leasing that facility for their operations. So we are still working through the lease language. Ms. Comey drafted that language, and I have forwarded it on to Cincinnati East. But there is a resolution before you that would authorize me to sign that agreement.
I move to adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of lease agreement with respect to 8330 Broadwell pursuant to Section 505.11 of the revised code.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you. The next resolution Mr. Severs will present.
Good evening. I just have one item this evening. It's a follow-up to an event we've been involved with since 2008 with the bicycle rodeo program. And Cincinnati Children's Hospital, from whom we get equipment each year, has indicated they no longer intend to store that equipment, those being bikes and other materials, and they've offered the township to accept those if we are interested as a donation. We are very interested in doing that. We intend to continue the bicycle rodeo program. In fact, we've had discussions with the school district about expanding that into the History of Schools event. So if it's the board in agreement, we have a motion before you to accept that donation, and they're very eager to hear a response, considering they need to get rid of them by the end of the month. So.
I move to adopt a resolution authorize acceptance of a donation from Cincinnati Children's Hospital.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'd like to apologize to those of you that just had to look at Steve's kilt. So, I'm sorry. I saw some of the expressions of the crowd. Forgive us. We have, wait, who liked it? Who liked it? You liked it?
We had to move the podium this month, right?
I'm just glad he didn't drop anything. That's all I want to say.
Ms. Parker has the next two items for the board's consideration.
Thankfully.
My first item has to do with renewing the township's property and casualty insurance. This is with OTARMA, which stands for the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority. This is a consortium of Ohio townships that have banded together to purchase insurance as a group through a nonprofit entity, OTARMA. And as such, we have saved a great deal of money over the years, and we've been with them, well, we were with them when I started 20 years ago. So they've been a good company to work with. As a nonprofit, our rates have been generally held at a very reasonable level, and they actually have a program called the Cumulative Reserve Fund, and that simply is when there is reserve money built up in that nonprofit account, that money is distributed to its members rather than going toward a profit margin. So typically in the past, we've received about a $10,000 refund each year. I haven't heard yet what our refund will be this year. I should know later this month or in April, but I'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, we do need to make a decision on renewing that coverage. We do have an increase in our premium this year. That's largely due to adding the Newtown Fire Station, but we also added some rather valuable equipment to our policy. But I still feel good about the actual rate. The actual rate has not changed in many, many years. So I would recommend to the board that we go ahead and renew with OTARMA that would be effective, retroactively effective February 23rd.
I move to authorize the Assistant Township Administrator for HR to renew the township's property and casualty insurance coverage with the Ohio Township Authority Risk Management Authority, retroactively effective February 23rd, 2016.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you. The next item is regarding the professional development, ongoing professional education of township employees. We have compiled the list that we do every year, and I'm very pleased that we've been able to hold the costs with very little increase over what we requested last year, and that increase was due to higher registration fees. These were not because we added classes or seminars, that kind of thing. We've been very intent to try to hold those costs, and all those discretionary costs, I should say. So unless the board has any questions about the charts that we presented, I would ask for the board's approval for this package, this professional development package.
I move to authorize the 2016-2017 professional development package as presented.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Garth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you.
One other item, Vicki?
There's one final item arising from executive session discussions. As I informed the board, Richard Shelley, the current Director of Public Works, is eligible for retirement. There is a program that is available to public employees through the Ohio Revised Code that allows employees to request to retire and then be rehired by the board to perform their duties. We are still working through the arrangements But under the proposal, there is a huge benefit to the township, not only in the fact that we would be able to, if the board approved this, be able to retain Richard Shelley so that he could help us locate a successor. We would retain the talent and the knowledge that he has brought to the township with his 30 years of experience, and we would reduce our costs. The overall figure is yet to be determined, but there would be a significant savings to the township. So to start this process, the board would be required to set a public hearing at least 60 days prior to Richard's proposed retirement date. He does intend to retire on May 31st, and there is a motion before you that would set that public hearing that would allow for the entire plan to be presented to the board and to the public. The public would then have an opportunity to comment. So I would request that the board set the public hearing at this time.
I'd move to adopt a resolution to set a public hearing for Thursday, May 19th, 2016 at 6 p.m. at the Anderson Center, 7855 Mile Road, Anderson Township, Ohio, to consider the reemployment of Richard Shelley, Director of Public Works, who intends to rehire and seek reemployment with Anderson Township as permitted by the Ohio Revised Code, Section 145.381B.
Second?
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thank you. That's all we have for the board this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. With that, I'd like to remind everybody that our next regular monthly board meeting will be April 21st, 2016 at 6 p.m. Citizens should call 688-8400 to confirm. With that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Stone?
Yes.
Mr. Girth?
Yes.
Mr. Pappas?
Yes.
Thanks.